Hi, this is Champlet 2 on the PlayStation Network. You're watching our crew's first successful attempt at completing the Elite Challenge for the Pacific Standard Heist on hard difficulty. We learned a lot as we were practicing for this, so I'll share those tips with you as we go along. The Elite Challenge timer apparently starts just after the Pacific Standard job green banner goes away and you're able to start running. This means the location you choose to start the heist from will impact how much time it takes you to complete it, unless you use the trick we did here. One of the criteria to complete this Elite Challenge is nobody gets wasted. In this video, we left the Eclipse Towers and met at the first yellow checkpoint on the south side of the bank. It's important that nobody goes to the doors of the bank because that will pull everyone inside. Wait until everyone is at the first checkpoint and then shoot at pedestrians and drivers until the job is blown. This will restart you just outside the bank and save you at least 20 or 25 seconds. This green banner appears for about 9 or 10 seconds, and then it's maybe another 3 seconds before you can start to run, and that's where we believe the Elite Challenge timer starts. Start your timer here. Every second counts for the demolitions and hacker. The bank patrons will fall at your feet and slow you down, so choose your route carefully. If crowd control can take out both of the guards as quickly as possible, the patrons fall to the floor faster, and they're less likely to get in your way. When demolitions comes up to each gate, try to arrive directly in front of the lock. If you're slightly to one side or the other, your character will take steps back to realign. This doesn't seem like much, but they're precious seconds you can't afford to waste. If crowd control shoots the gates when you hear them clink, it also helps them open slightly faster. Notice the painting on the wall in the stairwell. Our hacker shoots a grenade launcher to the left of it, between the painting frame and the left wall, at about the middle of the painting height. The grenade bounces down and takes out the guards in front of the vault. If you do this quickly, it saves you the trouble of having to shoot them. These guards are very aggressive, so you can lose armor, health, and time if you get into a gun battle with them. The hacker can jump over the stair rail to save time instead of running down the stairs. Crowd control needs to be careful not to fire RPGs while the hacker is working. It causes the screen to shake and they'll have trouble completing the hack quickly. When the hack is complete and the vault door opens, you should be at roughly 1 minute and 55 seconds to 2 minutes on the total timer at this point. Crowd control can place proximity mines at the top of the stairs on the second level, or they can simply shoot at guards when they come out of the upstairs hallway. If one crowd control person just holds an RPG, it keeps the intimidation level up so no one will try to hit the alarm. When you're heading into the vault, let the person who's going to go to the right cart go in first so they can get around the gate, and then the second person can take the cart on the left. You can use the time remaining timer as a guideline for all players to have an idea how well you're doing on time. It's not an exact representation of the Elite Challenge time because you have to factor in the time it took to get into the bank, but it's a pretty good estimate. Generally speaking, for all of our attempts and all of the other videos that we watched to practice for this, we found that you want to have around 4 minutes remaining on that timer when everyone arrives at the front lobby to leave the bank. Since it takes about 10 seconds to run across the street and get into the bank, and you spent about 3 minutes inside the bank, plus almost 20 seconds each for the scenes as you're coming into the lobby and leaving the bank, that's about 3 minutes and 50 seconds spent so far. This means you have roughly 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the Elite Challenge to get to the bikes and then to the dinghy. When we left the bank in our successful attempt in this video, we were at about 3 minutes and 47 seconds on our total timer. We've found that you need to move as quickly as possible when running to the bikes. If Demolitions and Hacker run close to the south side of the bank, they'll get shot a little less and you'll lose less money. Don't worry about the cops right outside the bank, and let crowd control take out the 2 cop cars at the top of the alley. This will cause a lot less damage if you deal with them. This route was the fastest and safest route to the bikes that we tried. You have at least 3 places where you can stop to put on armor if you need it. Just stay close together at all times because a straggler will likely take a lot more fire from the cops. When you get to this next street, focus on shooting down both of the helicopters as quickly as you can. If you can't get the second one right away, you'll probably have another chance when you get closer to the bikes. Be sure to cross this street together here. Leaving someone behind can very often be a death sentence. Have one person shoot the cops to the south on the street. After you cross the street and enter the Go Postal alley, have one crowd control person shoot the cops ahead to the west, and the other can turn around and shoot the cops to the east who are coming in behind you. Let the money carriers focus on avoiding bullets. It's critical not to waste time while running to the bikes. You need all of the spare time you can get so you can improvise your route if necessary while you're on the bikes. When all 4 of us had butts on bikes, as we like to call it, we were at 5 minutes and 25 seconds into this challenge. We decided to split up. 2 of us went directly north while the other 2 went on Lester's route initially and met up with us later to go off-road. We found this reduced the police a bit for both groups. Practice both routes and let each member of your crew decide what they prefer. One of our crew members created some motorcycle races with checkpoints to practice each of these routes with Lectros, and that helped tremendously. The most important advice is stay calm and don't be in a rush. Take a second to let the cops make their moves and then work around them. Use your Electro to boost to get away from them if they're shooting you. Always keep variations to your route in mind in case you need to improvise like we're doing here in this video. When you're going directly north, you can climb up to the dirt road on the right at the Vinewood Park sign to miss a roadblock. After you pass the Sisyphus Amphitheater, you can go straight up to the fruit stand and go left or right around the stand to get to the gully behind it. Or you can cut left to avoid more roadblocks like I did in this video and go down to the stunt jump that will land you in the same gully. This is a great time to put on more armor if you need it. After you go through the tunnel in this gully, find a safe place to cut to the left and avoid trees while climbing over the hill. In this video, my teammate had lost his motorcycle, so I slowed down to help him, but he found it. You'll see on the mini-map, this is when our teammates who went Lester's route have reunited with us. Cross over the dirt road, and then go to the paved road to go faster, or stay up on the grass to avoid cops. Turn right at the farmhouse across from the big barn. Watch out for the mailbox hidden in the bush. It will knock you off your bike. If the covered bridge has cops on it, go around it like we did in this video. When the last crew member hits the grass to climb onto the final mountain, you should be between 8 and 8 minutes and 10 seconds on your complete timer. I was the last of our team and I reached the grass at 8 minutes and 5 seconds. As you're climbing this mountain, take your time and don't fall off the ridges or hit a tree. Save a little boost for your final jump on the mountain if you can. There are several different angles for the final jump that all work, and this is the one that works best for me. Even without boost, I clear the mountain every time. You can glide down without your parachute at first, but you may find that it takes you longer to float out to the dinghy after you do pull your parachute if you go downward too fast. Try it several ways until you find what works for you. I aim my parachute at the dinghy. Notice in our video, the cops can shoot your parachute and throw you off course. Do your best to land safely on the dinghy or close to it. Using L1 and R1 slows you down a lot, so you can aim your landing carefully. The Elite Challenge timer appears to stop when the last person is seated in the dinghy, although the timer on the screen may not stop at the exact same time. We completed the Elite Challenge in 9 minutes and 52 seconds in this video. That's the same amount of time that elapsed from when we started to run into the bank until I was seated in the dinghy. Since there's no exact definition of when the timer stops and starts, give yourself a 5-second cushion or so to be sure that you got there in time. There are other routes you can try on the motorcycles. You can try going Lester's route or directly north like we did in this video, but then climb up onto the railroad tracks. If you go to the end of the railroad tunnel and jump off to the dirt road below that runs on the south side of the river, this is a significantly faster route than the one we took. On average, it takes about 30 seconds less if you're driving this route in free mode. However, there are a lot of cops on that dirt road, and it's very narrow and really bumpy, so it can be difficult to survive going that way. You can also turn left immediately after the last small bridge on the train tracks, just before you get into the railroad tunnel, and climb up to that ridge. It'll take you up to the same mountain where we jumped off. However, this route, it can slow you down quite a bit because the hill by the tracks is really steep. You can also try getting your own faster motorcycles from garages that are located near the bike route. We were able to get our own bikes out sometimes, and we finished much faster than we did on the Electros. Unfortunately, odds are not favorable that you're going to be able to get into your garage quickly every time. You could also try taking your own car instead, such as an armored Kuruma. But you'll probably have to drive to the bridge where the convoy setup starts, and then turn left down that narrow dirt road by the river where all the cops are. It's really difficult, if not impossible, to get to the dinghy in the allotted time in a car. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed this video and the tips that you've found in it, and hopefully they'll help you and your crew achieve success on this Elite Challenge. It only earns you an extra $100,000 per person, but at least you can earn that bonus for every time you complete this Elite Challenge successfully. This challenge isn't really about the money, because you'll lose a lot of it on the motorcycles. It's more about beating a difficult challenge and the fun you'll have while you're learning how to do it. If you have any questions or comments, please respond here and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. As always, a like for the video and subscriptions to my channel are greatly appreciated. Good luck to you and your crew. Have fun.